Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Idahoan Show. It recently occurred to me that while I have a proper shooting range right behind my house and visit it fairly frequently, most of the shooting that I've done in the last few years has been purely administrative in nature. Testing hand loads, sighting in optics, that kind of thing. I decided that I'd like to do something to improve my skills when it comes to more dynamic or defensive type shooting. Meanwhile, just the other day, I learned from a friend of mine that there are actually a lot more tactical three-gun matches within a couple hours' drive of here than I had realized, and his descriptions made that kind of competition sound like a lot of fun. Now, at this point, I really don't have the resources to get into three-gun shooting at the competitive level, especially given the ongoing shortage of ammunition and reloading components. So I decided to try and come up with some quasi-tactical shooting drills that I could do with an emphasis on trying to get as much training value as possible from a stage with a relatively low round count. For starters, I set up 3 targets at different distances. In this drill, you draw from the holster and fire 1 shot at each target, starting with the furthest one and working closer. I figure this could provide at least a first pass approximation of training for a scenario where you're charged by a dangerous animal or other attacker. The next scenario I set up is loosely patterned after a convenience store robbery. The idea is that you're in the back of the store trying to find a gallon of milk or something when the robbers come into the store and stick up the cash register. You see that something is going on up there, but you don't initially realize that it's a robbery, so you call out asking if something is wrong, at which point one of the robbers takes a panicked shot at you and they fan out behind concealment. So you have to engage multiple targets around the different angles of the shooting trenches. Part of what makes this stage challenging is that you have 5 targets to knock over and you're only allowed 6 shots in which to do so.
Hey, is everything okay over there?
The following stage begins with you lying on the ground in front of the target. The premise here is that you saw a threatening character approaching and tried to retreat, but tripped and fell over. Maybe this is happening at a gas station and you tripped over the gas hose. Or maybe it's at a campsite and you tripped over a tree root. Anyway, when you fall down, your attacker produces a weapon of some kind and closes in for the kill, so you have to draw from a reclining position to engage the first target. Then you have to shoot a second target that's lurking just out of sight around the corner. And finally, we have a hostage scenario. Maybe you're out hiking in the wilderness and you stumble upon some kidnappers who brought their victims out to a remote location where they thought no one else would be likely to come around. Of course, you don't know a priori that they are kidnappers, so you approach them and maybe try to hail them. However, they know that they're criminals and they don't want any witnesses, so they respond by shooting at you, at which point you are obliged to return fire while retreating to the nearest cover. The 4 rectangular targets are the kidnappers, while the 2 circular targets in this case represent their intended victims. So you're supposed to shoot the square targets but not the round ones, and their close proximity to each other contributes to making this a challenging drill.
Hey, is everything okay? Hey, is everything okay? Hey, is everything all right?
Now, as weather and availability of ammunition permits, I intend to continue doing these kinds of drills in hopes of improving or at least maintaining my defensive shooting skills. Perhaps at some point I'll even try to get a few friends involved so we can time each other and thereby add an element of competitive stress to the drills. The question I have for you, if you're still watching this, is whether or not it's worth making more videos about these kinds of drills. I'm under the impression that there are a lot of other channels devoted to covering 3-gun stages and other competitive shooting sports at more advanced levels than anything I'm likely to do here. So I don't want to spend a lot of videography time and effort creating content that is redundant with or inferior to what's already out there. However, if you think my minimalistic scenarios provide a sufficiently unique perspective to be worth documenting, then let me know in the comments and I will take that into consideration. In any case, until next time, thank you for watching The Idahoan Show.